This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Wednesday. This is the Woo Report, episode 161. I'm your host, Sam Woo, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Here we go. Devils losing last night to the big bad Boston Bruins 5-3 in a well-intentioned, great effort by the Devils, all things considering. Again, here on the Let's Go Devils podcast, we do not like moral victories, but we did like the product on the ice for the most part. The team played very well. Damon Severson, what a goal from Mikey, pass from Mikey McLeod, the Hail Mary, getting it done, tying it up 3-3. How about Jack Hughes putting the puck on net? We talked about that. With Jesper Bratt screening the goalie, Tatar putting it home. That's what I'm talking about. David Decker, you are in the Facebook Live group. Yes, you, David Decker. Let me tell you, David Decker, go to Town Toyota in Ledgewood. David Decker sells Toyotas to some of the Let's Go Devils podcast co-hosts. And he gives great deals at a time when you can't even find a car because there are no microchips in the world. David Decker gets it done for you. Town Toyota. Go tell them Sam Woo sent you. And they did not endorse me to say this, meaning I'm not getting paid. So that endorsement of David Decker at Town Toyota in Ledgewood off of Route 46, that's a great endorsement. Plus, I left a Google review if you don't believe me. Anyway, aside from David Decker hooking up Let's Go Devils podcast co-hosts and viewers and fans, Toyotas, Nico Hischier skated by himself this morning. Now, I want to go over something that really bothers me. Yesterday, here on this fine programming called the Let's Go Devils podcast, around 3:30 p.m. Eastern for the breaking news about Dougie Hamilton and his injury, people started to comment about Nico Hischier being out for 8 to 10 weeks with a broken ankle. Here on the podcast, we have a policy. We do not break the news, even though if we may even contain inside information. But we do verify the news. We do verify the news because we believe in trust and verify. And yesterday, I rarely do this, but once I saw it, I actually felt compelled, knowing that I have this platform, to dig in if it was truly a fact that Nico Hischier did have a broken ankle, or were these just unfounded rumors? I don't want to point fingers to the people that put that out there without verifying. But yesterday, Vinny Parisi and I, we did some digging, and we kept you posted. And we asked our good friend Chico Resch to come on to the program for Game Day Live, just so you can hear at least someone that is trustworthy what exactly is going on. I can't stress this enough. Do not always believe what you read on the internet. Trust, but verify, and then verify again. And I'm glad that we dug into it because I started to feel down when the whole news cycle was Dougie Hamilton out with an injury. Jaw broken. Nico Hischier. When those rumors started in the middle of a live podcast, I needed to get to the bottom of it. And it's really sad that Devils fans were fooled by either guesswork. I'll give the person the benefit of doubt, maybe well-intentioned, trying to get the news out there. I don't know who this person is, where it came from, but here on the Let's Go Devils podcast, I can guarantee you we will trust but verify and then verify again. I'm not saying we're perfect, but we will do our best. And that's a promise that we will trust but verify and verify again. That's how we do it here at the Let's Go Devils podcast. We are not in the rumor business. We are not in the scoop business. We're in the podcast business. We are Devils fans that want to get it right. It doesn't matter who's the first to get it. It's a matter of getting who's the first to get it right first. Okay? I want to get that out there because Nico Hischier skating bad bruise. Lindy Ruff, according to Amanda Stein on her Twitter account, I'll read the quote that Nico Hischier, Ruff expects Nico to take part in morning skate tomorrow and see how he feels in terms of pain management before deciding whether he suits up against the Columbus Blue Jackets, the BJs. So, with that said, Nico skates, rumors dispelled. Thank you, David Decker, saying, I love the Let's Go Devils podcast. Yes, we love David Decker, hardcore Devils fan. That was once filmed by MSG Networks for one of their commercials with Hardline Betty. Yes. That's who he is. All right. So, also, Lindy Ruff coming off a COVID protocol. Now the protocol has changed. 10 days now to 5 days following CDC guidelines. Okay, so Lindy Ruff is back at coach. Been doing Zoom calls this entire time. Jimmy Vesey is back. Skating yesterday by himself while the team was in Boston. This is all good. Devils need Vesey back. Vesey having a pretty good season with the New Jersey Devils. Mike Rossi writes, some writers like to make bogus articles and fake news and rumors. I'm not saying this against you or Hockey Buzz or Pucks and Pitchforks, but I have read articles that are filled with fake information. Yeah, I can only control what I can control, Mike Rossi. Because I've seen it too. I've seen it all over the internet. And sometimes how news spreads. But I can guarantee you, I try to verify stuff before I put it out there. That's why you rarely see me break anything or have the inside scoop, first. I don't want to get into that business because you could be sources. Hey, your source could lie or your source didn't really know and there was a miscommunication. That's why you always have to verify and verify again, And, again, I only control who I can control, and that's me, and I'm going to stick with that. All right? Because I kind of felt bad when I saw that out there because I'm like, how do these people know this when I don't even know? And I'm not saying I know everything, but my goodness, how did I miss that one? But I didn't. Because at that time period, I don't think Nico even saw a doctor at that point. So, anyway, that's just speculation. Anyway, measure twice, cut once mentality, Mike Rossi says. All right, enough about that. Enough about that kind of stuff. But the New Jersey Devils yesterday, playing the Boston Bruins, the big bad Boston Bruins, Mackenzie Blackwood, okay, he's getting a lot of heat. Getting a lot of heat from a lot of people. He knows that he has to play better. This is the NHL. But I will say, though, just looking at some of the film from last night's game, Mackenzie Blackwood, I'm wondering how much of a factor, and he won't admit it, because he's a tough character, tough guy. But I'm wondering how much that heel injury is affecting him in his game. Watch the next few games. Any games that Mackenzie Blackwood is in net, Watch him moving from side to side, post to post. He doesn't look very comfortable out there. Just watch it. Tell me what you think. He doesn't look that comfortable, but he's gutting it out because what choice did the New Jersey Devils have? Jonathan Bernier, surgery on Monday, out for the season. Out for the remainder of the season. Second year in a row where Devils GM Tom Fitzgerald gets a veteran goaltender to mentor Mackenzie Blackwood, and it fails, unfortunately. Corey Crawford retired out of nowhere, and Jonathan Bernier, an issue with his hip, out for the season. So it's like at this point, Mac Black is just learning on the job, being a self-starter, being the starting goaltender in the net, figuring things out. And maybe we don't even need a veteran goaltender in the future because I think Mac Black is already have become a starting goaltender, veteran goaltender himself. Dave Riley writes, have you heard anything about the cable company after you cannot get the ball? MSG. All right, let me tell you something. I get press releases from Madison Square Garden networks, Xfinity customers. I happen to be an Xfinity customer, Comcast, but I actually get my programming from DirecTV app. So I was kind of unscathed, although DirecTV doesn't have WPIX 11 where I can get my Mets, which is kind of weird. So, yeah. Cable companies, you're going to see more of this, that media itself is getting very fragmented. It used to be just newspapers, TV, and radio. Now you've got TV, radio, newspapers are gone. Now it's digital. You've got blogs. You've got podcasts like ours. You got live video podcasting like ours. You've got all sorts of choices right now. And cable TV, cutting the cord, it's almost dead at this point. It's dying. And the fact that MSG Networks and Xfinity can't really get a deal done, Dave, it's kind of a shame to the Devils fans that are out there. I don't think it's going to change. If I were you, Dave, if the Devils mean that much to you, look at other alternatives, streaming alternatives. Because that's probably the only way you're going to get the game. At least there are other alternative avenues, such as going to DirecTV app, stream only. That works for me, especially if you have an AT&T phone and it's unlimited streaming. Fubo is what John Tanaka says. By the way, John, I don't think you can scratch Lindy Ruff tomorrow. I know you're joking around. That was pretty funny. Also on YouTube Live, let me know, how are you guys consuming your live Devils content? Also comes with MSG. If you like the Rangers, you're not getting it. If you like the Islanders, you're not getting it as well. Knicks. Nets are on Yes Network. But the reality is, and here is the economics of this whole thing. MSG Networks really does not have that much leverage against Xfinity, also known as Comcast. Why? Because baseball is king when it comes to TV contracts and content. 162 games versus 82 games. Better ratings with baseball than hockey, or even basketball for that matter. Hockey is a gate receipt revenue stream. That's where they get their revenue, which is why hockey teams are getting hurt. The NHL teams are getting hurt in their wallets because of this whole COVID thing. But not to go off on a tangent, Dave, but the economics aren't really there. MSG Networks doesn't have really the leverage at this point to be asking money. I know Xfinity is probably doing some dirty things behind the scenes, but what else is new? What are you going to do? It's another subject for another day, but Xfinity, Comcast, and Spectrum have a monopoly, and they have their lobbyists writing all the laws that are on the books in this fine country called the United States of America. So it's a very complex issue. Don't mean to bore you about that, but the bottom line is I don't see any end in sight and soon. But I warn everybody about this, and I warn those C-level executives in those respective media companies, Madison Square Garden Networks, Comcast, Devils fans, Rangers fans, Islander fans, Knicks fans, they're very smart fans. If you don't supply what they want, these live games, guess what's going to happen? They will find another way. And incomes, and I don't condone this, but the reality is there are a lot of illegal streaming sites all over the internet. And that's where you're going to lose, because if you're not providing it and the fans find an alternative, they will do what they want. They will find a way, especially hockey fans, because they are the most devoted fans in of all sports. They may not have the mass quantity, the size of a football or baseball, but they are devoted and they do spend money. And if you don't give them what they want, they will find another way. And I'm sticking to that. That's what I truly believe. What do you guys think? Michael Hay, thank you to Dave Riley, and thank you for listening and watching the Let's Go Devils podcast. Keep it here. Also, Michael Hay, Let's Go Devils. I will be in the restaurant Thursday. Promise to give Blackwood extra clapping. He needs it. Yes, yes, yes. Erica Teresa writes, I listened through the NHL app. It's something. Yes, I do too. There are times where I can't multitask and I need to be doing things. So I go on the NHL app. I go to the top right button and go to the Devils feed. And I listen to Matt and Chico. And I got to tell you, Chico Resch, a friend of the podcast, he's fun to listen to. Yeah. And then I switch it over. And then, like, intermission, I go with the Bryce and Erica. You know, you get a little bit of everything. You know, I wish I can have it all at once. But, you know, I'll tell you, Chico says some good stuff. Matt with the calls. All good friends of the podcast. Kanji, Danico. All of them are great. Even Bryce. All friends of the podcast. Anyone else still salty that they drafted Tenenby over John Carlson? Yes! I remember that draft night at Prudential Center. I'll tell you who was very shocked that night. Sherry Ross. I remember when talking to her while it was happening, and she's like, I thought they'd go with the Jersey guy. I'm shocked. Yeah, I don't understand it, John. And you know what? We have to move on. We have to move on from that. David Conti, for whatever reason, had this Swedish thing. You know, it all started with Nicholas Bergfors. If you remember him. Then Tenenby, Josephson, Adam Larson, the list goes on. Didn't really work out, did it? Although the Adam Larson thing did work out in a funny way. Without John McLean coaching 25 games, the Devils would never have had the 4th overall pick in 2011. So they picked Adam Larson. Adam Larson played, eventually traded for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, MVP season. Eventually, what do you have now out of Taylor Hall? Oh, you've got Dawson Mercer, Kevin Ball, Nate Schnarr, and I believe another guy was there as well. I forgot his name, but he left. And also there's a couple other people that came out of that Taylor Hall trade. Christian Jaros was a result of the Taylor Hall trade. I think Tom Fitzgerald flipped a pick out of that trade to get him. So the Taylor Hall trade is the trade that keeps on giving, right? And it all started, that was all created by John McLean, the horrible 2011 season. Or I'm sorry, 2010-2011 season. The bad start that they had resulted in Adam Larson to Taylor Hall. Now Dawson Mercer carrying the torch as that tree is starting to grow for the New Jersey Devils. If you want to follow it, I wrote about it about a couple months ago on pucksandpitchforks.com. Go there, read it. Oh, yeah, Merkley. Yep, that's it, Merkley. Forgot his name. Tanaka. John Tanaka, thank you very much. All right. So what else? Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Dave. David Decker, if you're still listening, let me know. We love you too. He's probably out there selling some Toyotas, a Town Toyota in Ledgewood. All right, well, that's all for now. This is for your drive time. Hands 10 and 2 on the wheel. There's going to be some murky weather coming up soon, later in the week. Remember, State of the Fan address, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Pucksandpitchforks.com. Editor-in-Chief Nick Villano and I will be podcasting. Don't know who our guest yet. Nick never usually tells me. He just always wants me to not be in the know. But there will be a guest, I'm sure, tonight for State of the Fan address. Nick Villano and I. And, and also keep it here tomorrow as well. We got Woo Report, Game Day Live, and Devils After Dark. Devils take on the BJs, the Blue Jackets of Columbus. Also, go to Taj Lounge 973, where for safety reasons, everything's going on with this virus. We're going to do everything virtually. But if you're going to the game, I encourage you to go to Taj Lounge 973, 35 Edison Place, the official home bar of the Let's Go Devils podcast. There you go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Hopefully we answered your questions. Maybe we're your reliable source for all things New Jersey Devils. Why? Because, like you, we are from New Jersey and a bunch of Devils fans. All right. Well, Nico's skating. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Lindy Ruff back. Jimmy Vesey back. Keep it here. Signing off. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.